What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be doing custom suspension work on my 1942 Chevy rat rod truck. Stick around. This is my 1942 Chevy pickup, sorta. There's not a lot of the factory stuff left. And I'm sure the first thing everybody's thinking is that, wow, that cab is in horrible shape. And you'd be right to say that. A tree landed on it. However, what you don't know is that right over here, tucked away in the corner, all safe and sound, is the other half of this project in the way of a good cab. So I'm gonna take the doors off of that one, put it on this one, and then put this cab on the truck. Just because it's in a lot better shape. It's got a little bit of rust in a couple spots. Right here below the gas fill door, it's got some rust. Got a little bit of rust across this band right here in the back. But it's actually very minimal rust for an 82-year-old truck. Or I guess it's, yeah, 82 years old. The frame is in pretty good shape. It's got some sort of an I-beam deal welded back here. That's gonna come off. That's not gonna be part of this. Steering column, steering box. And then if you look up front, it's got like a Roadster style. It's not mounted. I just got it sitting under it to mock it up. But it's got like a Roadster style, straight axle, like gasser style maybe. Straight axle front end on leaf springs. And then in the rear, we have got a little bit of a narrow, like car style Ford 9-inch that we're putting under here. I've got a universal 4-link kit that I'm gonna put on it with adjustable coilovers in the rear. And then for the power plant, we have got an RV motor. This is a Dodge 360 with a 727 torque flight. And that's gonna power this beast. So, yeah, you heard right. We've got a Chevy truck with a Dodge drivetrain on Ford suspension. So it ought to be good. Ford 5-lug car, so small pattern. We've got these 15 by 12 bead locks that are gonna go in the rear. And then I'm gonna get a set of steel 4-inch wheels for the front. So we have some skinnies up front. And it ought to be a super cool rat rod pickup type thing. Like I said, this isn't the cab we're gonna use. It's definitely seen better days. The other cab doesn't have any glass in it, but it's not a big deal. I found glass online for like 250 bucks for front and rear and door windows. So not worried about that at all. We're gonna have to use, I guess, the dash out of the other one or build one. But this cab is in significantly better shape than the other one. So that's gonna be the one that we use. And I'm also, this is not gonna stay Dodge powered. It's getting put together with that because that's what I have, and it's gonna cost me almost no money to get this thing running. And we're gonna do that, but also, like, you know, we're gonna use an LS in this at some point. I've got a pretty nice cammed 6-liter with some 243 heads. Also on this trade deal, I made a deal on a 5.3 and a turbo 400 to get this, and still got some other stuff coming. I don't know. Today, what we're gonna try to mess with is, if I've got the metal, I'm gonna try to build some spring perches, but I'm definitely going to get the axle on top of the leaves. And that way it'll drop the front end down, because as you see it sitting here now, that's entirely too high. You go stand by this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because I am 6'5", and this truck is a little bit taller than me. Don't like that. This needs to be down about this level and drop the whole truck down. So we're gonna work on trying to get that mocked up. We've also got our 4-link kit in the truck. We're gonna get it out and we're gonna work on getting it mocked up. Might clean up the rear end some and get it ready. I don't have a lot of tools here, but I do have a grinder that I got this morning. and I've got my welder, so we're gonna work on trying to get some of that stuff done. And then if we get far enough, I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this cab off and getting the other cab pulled out and maybe setting it in place, and then go get some hardware so we can bolt it up. So I don't really know what we're gonna get done. You'll have to just kind of stick around and see what we get done. But that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna try to get some of this stuff broke loose and get that axle on top of the springs for mock-up. Let's get after it. We have new hangers or shackles, whatever you want to call those, and new hardware for those. And I don't know that we're going to be able to get them bolts off. I soaked them in WD-40. This is all kind of stuff that we got with this, and you can see I've got new bushings and shackles for both sides. We've got some U-bolts, but they are not near big enough. A bunch of shock tab type deals. We got brake calipers. I don't know what this is. It'd be super cool if this was spring purchase. Oh, those are brake pads. So, got a little bit of stuff. So we're gonna just start kind of tearing into this and seeing what we can get broke loose and what we can't. Those are greasable bolts. I'm amazed that that just came loose. Not all put together perfect. Like I said, it's not staying like this. I just wanted to get this raised up so I could jack this up and block it to where I know what size purchase I need to use and how high I need to raise that to get the stance that I'm at. So I'm about to jack this up, and then I'll start letting this frame down to where I'm happy, and then I can measure underneath the leaf springs up to the axle and see where we're at. That's more like it, but the problem we're running into now is look how close the axle is to the frame. So I could build a piece that comes up kind of like a C-notch on this here, but I may just have to use these knuckles and all of this stuff on a drop axle, because this axle almost looks homemade anyways, but all of the spindles and all of that stuff looks right. So I'm gonna start looking at drop axles and see what's up. But that's about the stance I would like this thing to have. Nice and low. Looking good. Maybe a little bit taller in the back. Y'all got it?
Yeah.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. That's too heavy.
Good job. You are tough. So this right here is a universal 4-link kit. It's from Amazon or eBay, I don't remember. I ordered one for the van, and then it was taking forever. It was gonna be like 2 weeks before it was delivered. So I ordered another one, and I tried to cancel that order, but they wouldn't let me cancel the order until after the estimated delivery date. So I ended up with 2 of them. I used one on the van, and now I've got this one. So I don't know what the right way to do these are. The way I do them is I get these rods all screwed out all the way. I'll have to get a wrench or something, but I get these rods screwed out all the way, and then I measure, halfway, I screw them in. That way I have adjustment forward and backwards on both sets. And then once I get those there, I get the pieces welded to the rear end. No, to the frame, I'm sorry, I do the frame first. And then I get the rear end on jack stand, set and level, mocked up to where it needs to be. And I weld these pieces, tack them to the rear end, pull the rear end out, full weld them, both sides, put the rear end back in and attach them. And then once you do all that, then you can put whatever kind of suspension you're gonna use on them. Like if you're gonna use adjustable coilovers, or if you're gonna use airbags, or whatever kind of springs you're gonna use, coil springs with shocks, whatever you're gonna do, then you can add those on later, and it's just got a lot of adjustability, makes it very, very easy to adjust everything, adjust bar angles. I would prefer a triangulated 4-link kit, because then you don't have to have a pan-hard bar or a Watts link. But I didn't get one of those, I got one of these, so this is what we're gonna use. And I'm about to just kind of get this stuff mocked up, get everything adjusted, even, look at what we got, and then start getting a game plan together. These are the rear end plates. These are all the bolts and hardware. These are shock tabs and plates for these to mount to. And these are all the bars, all the link bars, and the pan hard bar. So if you're not aware, this bolts to the frame, mounts to the frame. Bottom bar goes here, top bar goes here, and that all goes to the rear end bars. I don't even know if you can see that. That goes to the rear end bars on the rear end. This is twisted, but it'll go like this. Another one on this side, that'll weld to the rear end. This will weld to the frame, there'll be another bar here. And what that allows you to do is adjust your rear end forward and backwards a little bit. You can roll the rear end, you can turn the rear end in your frame if you've got steering issues, rear steer issues when you're coming off the line or whatever. These are just a really universally good product, very adjustable, super cool setup, very easy setup, and that's why I use them. You'll notice there's 5 bars. That's because you have 2 bars on each side, which makes it a 4-link. And then you've got a pan hard bar that keeps your rear end from moving side to side. First things first, you're gonna watch me get ready to struggle to lift something that's super heavy onto that workbench over there so that I can start working on her. I gotta get all these stuff off of it. I'm not excited. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. You didn't really think I was about to pick that up by hand when we got a perfectly good forklift sitting here. So here's what we've got. These are spring something, perches. I don't know what you'd call them on these. They took coil springs from here up to the body. And then these are shock mounts. I'm gonna take these off. I'm gonna also take these off and this off. I'm gonna clean this rear end all up. I'm gonna take all the brake lines off of it and get this thing cleaned up and ready to install my 4-link bars. And it's kind of hard to find motivation right now, so I figured I'd start with that because I know all that stuff needs to be done. I don't know. We'll see how far we get. We're running out of daylight. And I don't have a lot of light in the shop, but tomorrow, I don't believe I have to work. So tomorrow might be a full day at the shop and I can kind of get a lot done. We'll see. For now, I'm gonna focus on doing this. Strap got set on there, so I gotta try to get that out of there. Woo! Here we go. I'm getting started. Luckily, I had a headlamp, so I can see kind of what's going on here, what I need to work on. I think I'm just gonna start with getting all these brake lines off because that's like a simple thing I can start with. I don't know what size those are. We're gonna go look and see. Maybe 7/16. Ding, ding, ding. Ah! It just almost fell. There's one. Just what I figured. There we go. And my fancy little headlamp is not very comfortable. Got those undone. Now we got these bolts right yonder. Looks like we got 2 of them and then a little tab. Maybe I can pop that off. Some oil would not hurt any of this stuff. Yo, nice rear end. Thanks. So this rear end looks like it's been sitting for a super long time, but I just got fluid out of that line. So that's a good sign. Maybe it's got some good brake parts in it. Guess I'll do it the right way. If I can find my socket. Found it. I just got to thinking, if I put adjustable coilovers on this, like I did on the van, those mounts might actually be in a good spot. We might leave those for now. I might just take these off. What in the world are all these mounts for? They must have had like a trailing arms of some sort, or something kind of like a G-body, because there's a mount here, there's a mount here, there's a mount here, there's a spring mount here. It's ridiculous. Just the mounts everywhere. What should I do about these emergency brake cables? Just look at what a difference that made, just getting all those cables and BS out of the way. So now these suckers gotta go. Boy, look at that weld they put on that sucker. My gosh, look at that. And I got big old hands. Let's see. It's an 11mm wrench. Look at the size of that weld. Jeez Louise. This side's all drippy. Whatever's going on there. I wonder if this sucker was leaking. That is not from it. That's from brake fluid. But that's crazy over here on this side. This is you. This is a guy she tells you not to worry about. Anyways, we gotta get back to work. What's up, Scooby-Doo? We're chasing after you. We're gonna solve that mystery. Something about that song I was just singing made the GoPro stop recording. And apparently also when you say that phrase, it does it on its own. Gotta be careful what I say around here. Everything's listening. You're gonna wanna go put on a very flammable cotton hoodie to finish doing this job. And that's what we're going for right there. That's not the prettiest. I'll probably polish that up a little more before I call it a finished product. It's pretty enough for the girls I go with. I'm just playing, honey. That's a joke. Luckily, my wife doesn't watch these videos. I'm about out of time for the night. As you can see, it's starting to get dark. I'm gonna get back home to the kids. But these puppies right here, which are 295 50/15s. I know they're not super wide. They're about, I don't know, 11 wide maybe. I think that's what we're gonna end up going with on our 12 wide wheels. Bead locks here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take them with me and go get those mounted on here and see how it goes, get them aired up, and then bring them back so that when I get this rear end done, we can get those mocked up on here and see how they look. He gave me an option on taking these off the trade value too on our trade deal. That's kind of what I gotta go see if I want to or not. I don't know. I just said that very fast. Kind of gotta see if I want. Kind of gotta see if I really want. I don't know. I said it way faster the first time. But anyways, I'm gonna try to get those mounted on these tonight. Is basically what I'm saying. Long story, even longer. That's what we're about to go do. Welcome back. It's another wonderful morning. Cookie is excited to see me, as always. And we got the 12 wide mounted for mock-up. They look pretty good, if I do say so myself. We didn't have all the bolts for the bead locks, so I did every other one on this. As far as I can tell, it's not leaking, but I know bead locks are kind of notorious for that, so that still remains to be seen. These things are freaking wide. What do you think about those, Cookie? You'll be all right? We also got still some tape that we need to pick off. Whoever taped these on and taped them together, that was not a good idea with that kind of tape. But I cleaned all the blue off of the white letters, and I put white letters out, of course, because there's no other way to hot rod. Boop. Oh yeah. Shoo. Look at those meats, boy. We're gonna continue on with this. Trying to get this stuff done. I want to get this rear end in the truck this week. So I need to see if I can find some steel. I want to box in the frame where I'm going to mount the 4-link instead of just going over to the inside of the frame. But we'll see. I got to try to find some pieces of plate. I don't have any, so right now I'm going to focus on getting that all cleaned up and just prepared. Then we can do some measuring, do some marking, get everything laid out, and maybe then I'll be able to find some plate and we can continue on. Yesterday was being a little goofy. I've been funny. Today I'm gonna go a little bit quicker to try to get this in there, to get this ground down and then cut these off. I'm gonna leave these out for now because I'm not really sure if I'll be able to use those or not. If I can use those, I will. But we're gonna just kind of see what happens on those. So I don't really think you want to watch me just sit here and grind all day. So I'm just gonna cut these off, cut those off, and then we'll check back in when we get done with that. Man, so I just ground for what seemed like 3 days forever.
What?
I don't know what 3 days forever means, but it's a long time. We got this pretty close to cleaned up. I still got little spots right here on top that aren't perfect, but to be honest with you, I'm tired of grinding. So I'm about to pick this bad boy up. Put it back over there on that dolly and roll this sucker onto the truck. I don't have a tape measure here. I gotta go get one, and then once I get that, I'm gonna also look for some steel so that I can get this thing mocked up and hopefully get this 4-link started today. Sorry, trying to think and talk at the same time. Anyways, I know I ran through this, but the way this stuff looks, the way it goes is these are the axle pieces, and they go on the axle like so, 2 of them beside each other, and then these bars connect from those over to the frame mount pieces like so, and there's 2 of them, 1 bar on top, 1 bar on the bottom. So that's how the 4-link works. That's where the 4-link name comes from. There's 2 bars on each side. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4-link bars. So anyways, I say all that to say I can't actually do that right now. I gotta go get a tape measure because I didn't bring one. So we'll be back in a little bit. Well, I think I want to put the tires on the rear end before I roll it up under there. Now I know I'll have to cover the tires when I go to weld and stuff to protect them, but I want to see what they look like because that'll keep me motivated for this build. And I'm also a recycler, so I was thinking to myself, what do I have here that would have lug nuts that fit that 9-inch? Maybe another 9-inch, guys. So I'm about to rob a couple lug nuts off of this thing to recycle and use. I'm just gonna take maybe 1 off of each one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're just gotta go see if they fit. Pants are falling down. It'll probably be my luck that they won't, and I'll just waste it all the time, and then I'll just set them down in here and I'll forget to put them back on the truck, and then in 6 weeks when I decide to drive that truck, I'll be going, where are these lug nuts? What did I do with them? So you're about to witness the whole start to this fiasco right now. Man, those look good. Those are perfect. I might have to end up with those tires. They told me we can make a deal on them. I just wasn't sure. Cookie, you here to help? Need a help now? Real technical. I'll lay this here to raise that end up off the ground. Golly, these suckers are heavy. Put that on there. That works, sorta. Look how crazy this offset is. It doesn't even cover the entire drum. So the drums ought to stay cool. Well, I don't know if you can see in the time lapse, but I'm kind of struggling with this. It's kind of starting to be harder than what it should have been, but I think I got it now. If you just kind of look down the center of the vehicle, getting pretty close. But the reason I was struggling is because I originally kind of centered it with those brackets from the inside of the frame over to the brackets. And same thing here. I matched that. And once I did, then measuring from the tire to the outside of the frame and the tire on the outside of the frame, it was an inch too far that way. So I measured a few things, nothing's really matching. I don't know what the deal is there. However, the center section is offset just a hair, so I couldn't measure off of that. I just kind of marked what I thought was center of the center section right here on top, and then I marked, got the center of the cross member on the frame, and then measured and made the tires match to the frame. And that right there is kind of what we ended up with. It looks like it's going to be about right. If you look at it from up here, it's a pretty good stance. I like, so you can kind of see that this truck is kind of triangle shaped. It kind of comes in, and I like that these tires are outside of the body the same amount that those tires are on the outside of that back part of the body. I like that. So the width is just about perfect. If you look down through the center of the car or the vehicle, you can see center kind of lines up with the center of the rear end underneath. I don't like how high the front is setting right now, and I don't really like how high the back is setting. So I'm gonna do a pretty good C-notch back here, rebuild the frame with a C-notch, but I'll do all of that after I get the rear end mounted in. And then the front, I haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do yet, but I do think I'm gonna do a 6-inch drop axle underneath the springs, and then I might get lowered springs. We're just kind of playing that by ear for now. So that's where we're at. I guess I'm about to look for a little bit of plate that I can box that frame up with and start cleaning everything up, measuring and getting ready to put that in. I just kind of wanted to show you why I was struggling so hard with that, because it doesn't really make sense, and maybe I'm missing something. Comment down below if I missed something, but that seems like it doesn't have to be rocket science. Make your wheels match where they are on each side, and then make sure your pumpkin's in the middle. And that's basically what we have. I think mostly my problem was just overthinking it. But I kind of got everything lined up now. I also marked where I wanted the center of the axle, here and there on both sides. And it appears to be just forward of center on both sides. And that all can be adjusted out on the 4-link. You can move everything in and out and create rear steer and all of that. So now I'm just gonna get the bar set up, find some plate, start getting ready to mount this thing up. I'm probably gonna have to cut this out, which is fine because I'm gonna build another one once I get my 4-link stuff mounted. I'm gonna build one with a drive shaft loop that connects our 4-link pieces together, acts as a cross member for the frame to keep it strong, and then also has an opening for the drive shaft. I don't know, sounds good. Looks good on paper. We'll see how it plays out. Time for me to get to work. All right, so now I'm going to attempt to get these all set up roughly in the middle. Roughly in the middle of their full adjustment range. Well, we moved as far as we can move today, right this second, because I don't have any material here. However, we got the rear end kind of set, we got this cut out, got the frame cleaned up and marked up where we wanted. I've got a template for a piece of metal to box that in, and the template works on both sides. If I can switch hands. The template works on both sides of the frame. I'm gonna take this and go to my brother's house, maybe see if he's got any material. May have to just go buy some and then see where we can get on the next video. So we'll see. That only took 9 years, but we're back. Couldn't find any plate, but I did find this. This is like, I don't know, 3/16 or something in the middle. I'm gonna lay out what I need on this end and cut it out. That'll be fine. It's a little thicker than I wanted, but it'll only make it that much stronger. And I actually might just, nah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mark it out, cut it out, just start winging it, and try to get some stuff done today. So bear with me, we're getting there. Well, folks, I just found something out, and we all knew it was coming, but I didn't expect it this soon. Yeah. The welder's out of wire. So that sucks, but I got everything I needed done. Those are tacked in really well. These are welded out as good as they're gonna get. don't look too close at them welds. So I don't know if you know this, rear end housings kind of got some dirty metal in them. So for some reason, this seam right across here, the center of it, was very dirty and I couldn't get it hot enough to burn through. So outside edges are good, the center part not so much. I don't really know how well those match. I'm probably gonna have to beat and bang on them to get them lined back up. I got these, like I said, tacked in good where they're running straight. So now I can roll that back forward, hook these up, and I can pull the jack stands off and it'll sit down just a couple more inches, and then the back will be mobile like that. Then I can set these wheels on dollies to raise them up a little bit. That'll raise the front up. Then the front will be mobile. So I can roll it around or do whatever I need to do. Get ready to start mounting this bad boy in here. I also need to work on getting the cab swapped out. I don't know, I'm just waiting for that stuff to cool so I can hook that stuff up. And then that's gonna be it for the video. I'm gonna show you all this buttoned up and mobile. I might sneak peek that motor sitting in here. We got a forklift. Why not, you know? Why not make that sit down in here and see what it looks like? I don't know that we will, but we might. We very well could. We'll see. She's sitting on her wheels now. So I'm still not done because obviously I'll have to C-notch this frame right here because that's my ride height. So I'm gonna have to build a C-notch there, which isn't a huge deal. Can probably build it out of that stuff. And then the front, not actually sitting on the suspension. If I aired up those tires, it would still not be on the suspension, but it would at least be sitting on the axle. I still gotta figure out what I wanna do about that. Also, I think this tire, I think the brake is locked up. I think the drum is locked up on that. So I can see what's going on with that. I don't know what that noise was. Something up here. But she's sitting on a 4-link now. Sitting on a 4-link. You can see, don't look too close. I'm not a master fabricator. I'm a budget fabricator. And it's not awesome, but it's awesome to me. Next video, we might work on getting this cab off of this and getting the other cab put on. Just gotta look and see what kind of bolts I'm gonna need. Man, I wish the other cab had this green and like rusty patina on it. I like black too, obviously, but man, it'd just be cool if that was like that. I don't know, we'll see. I got a lot of work to do. I'm not going to put the motor in today. I'm just gonna enjoy this because man, does that look good. Okay, I lied, I wanted to show you. Pretty excited about that. So the motor's just sitting literally on this board and on a jack stand in the back. It's pretty close to where it's gonna be though. Front might need to go that way just a hair. But my plan is to take the exhaust, right now, take the exhaust around this way and underneath, but I might just go through that giant hole that's right there. There's so much room. So much room for exhaust on both sides. And just kick them out in front of each tire on the back. But there we go. Nice little bonus clip for you. Anyways, like I said earlier, thanks very much for watching. This is crazy. Not that I get rich, but I'm a YouTube partner now. So it's like, I don't know, a year ago, I would have never thought I could do this. In April, my goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And here we are now, I'm at 3,300. So if you're seeing this, it would really mean the world to me if you'd subscribe. If you don't want to, then whatever, you know, check out the videos, stick around if you like it. If you don't. But I would really appreciate it if you would at least consider subscribing. We do this for fun. I was doing it for just myself for years. And now I'm finally getting to do a little bit of YouTube content. So I I'm hoping you enjoy this. I guess we'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.